And this is Ken Kraetzer for Cam Vet Media today with an Iona College basketball report, the Kevin Hamilton preview. The Iona Gales are going to play Princeton, a very good team from the Ivy League. They are 8-2 on the season. Iona comes in 6-2. Kevin, how are you?
Very good, Ken. How are you?
Good, good. Now, first we'll talk about Iona's game Sunday at the Barclays Center, where they tough game that was close until the last couple of minutes, and then Iona pulled away with a run for a win in the game against St. Bonaventure. Tell us a little bit about that, 72-57.
Well, it was a start to a low energy affair early. Unfortunately, for two good teams, Barclays Center, didn't have a lot of fans there for that early contest. So both teams kind of struggled getting going. But thank goodness for Nelly Jr. Josephs, because he came out with a passion that honestly I hadn't seen in a long time from him, and was dominant and played the way that most Iona fans would appreciate, and certainly played so hard that he gave Iona an advantage early that St. Bonaventure struggled with throughout the rest of the contest.
Well, certainly Nelly Jr. Joseph, 24 points, 11 of 14 shooting. He was making all his inside shots and double figures and rebounds. And the two guards, Walter Clayton, 16 points, Dennis Jenkins, 11, are becoming a very consistent scoring combination.
Well, they really are. Jenkins struggled a little bit again from the field early. But he's a big time player that can respond in key moments. And Walter Clayton, each game you can see the maturity is really kicking in for him. He had his moments again where he was dominant, very physical to the basket, and able to convert on a couple of 3-point plays that were crucial to give Iona the edge that they needed to hold off St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, and Iona's getting a good reputation for very low turnover margin, 6.5. They're keeping their turnovers to 10.5, 18th in the country. And that's something that Rick Pitino has been preaching, minimize turnovers.
Well, they had a season high in the first half. So after saying that, you could tell that it was a struggle for them to get going. Turning the ball over 11 times in the first half is unlike an Iona team that we know. But when crucial moments came, they were able to hold on to the ball and do things that they need to do. I want to go back to Nelly for a second, because yes, he converted on the inside regularly and with ease, but he did some things on the perimeter that I thought were very key to his game, which when he's in the game with Shima, should present problems as they go forward for other teams if he continues to be consistent like this.
Yeah, and this is with arguably their best player out injured. Quinn Zelensky was averaging 18 points before he suffered what Coach Pitino has described as a serious bone bruise. Is there any update on when he may be able to come back?
I know the young man wants to be back tomorrow, but they're being very cautious with him, because as they get into crunch time in MAC competition, and certainly by the end of the year, they're going to need him to go as far as they want. So I think they're being very cautious, and probably that's the right thing to do. But for the senior, he wants to be back out there as quickly as he can. But at this moment, I would say it's wait and see until they can see him be able to practice without any significant pain.
Very good. Now, the Gales will go out to New Jersey to play Princeton tonight, Tuesday night, and they're going to play in Union, New Jersey at Kean University, the Harwood Arena. An arena looks very much like the old configuration of the Heinz Center, and play an 8-2 Princeton team that is went to London and won a tournament there with wins over Army and Northeastern. They also won at Marist this year, at Drexel, and coming off a win over Lafayette, and also a big almost 40-point win over Monmouth. So Princeton, they were 23-7 last year in the Ivy League. They lost the Ivy League championship game to Yale. So they're in the same mode Iona is. They're trying to stack their preseason schedule with quality opponents to try to raise their RPI, their ranking for NCAA consideration. What do you think about Princeton?
I think Princeton is a very good team, certainly at the top of the pyramid for the Ivy League. And as you can tell, the Ivy League is very strong this year. They have some very good teams, and Iona's been fortunate enough to beat one of their teams already. I would say Princeton is going to present somewhat of a problem for Iona because they're very methodical, they're very patient, and they do have capable scorers and players with some size. They're also a very well coached team. So they're not going to beat themselves as much as some of the other competitors Iona has played. They'll be very, very good in holding on to the ball and running their stuff. But I got to tell you, right now, my thoughts are with this Iona team. It's really not about who they play. It's about how they play. I think Iona is good enough, and certainly with the development of players coming off the bench that Coach Pitino is developing, it's really about how they play. If they show up and they're consistent and they get the play from their backcourt that they've been getting, they get Nelly and Shima Osborne doing the things that, or Osborne Shima doing the things that they do, and they get performances off the bench from players that are contributing, like Jefferson, like Cruz and others. When they get Selinsky back, they'll be a force to be reckoned with. So it doesn't really matter who Iona plays at this point. If they play Iona brand of basketball and Coach Pitino brand of basketball, they should be able to compete against anyone going forward.
Okay, we'll look forward to the game tonight. Iona at 6-2 will play Princeton 8-2, and this game again will be at a neutral site at Kean University in Union, New Jersey, just past Newark Airport, at the Harwood Arena, relatively new 3,000-seat arena. Kevin, what do you think about this schedule being at a neutral site?
I thought it was different, but I think Coach Pitino is trying to stack it so his players get the experience of playing on the road against good teams, playing in different venues against good teams, and a neutral site against a good team is an indication of what it could be like when it comes tournament time. So, hey, the master, Coach Pitino, is doing what he knows how to do best, prepare his team for eventually competing in those types of environments.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting and another challenge for the Gales as they really have picked up the pace of their play with the 4 straight wins and looking to go into a challenging part of their schedule with going out to New Mexico this weekend and then the tournament in Hawaii. Kevin, a final thought for us today?
Hey, let's go to Hawaii with them. That'd be nice.
I went to the Rainbow Classic with Providence back in, I won't even tell you what year, in the 70s when Dave Gavitt was coaching Providence, and ended up being a final against North Carolina. North Carolina won that one, but in the payback game in Providence, Providence's team did beat North Carolina, one of the great games. And it was right after the 35-inch snowstorm, the blizzard, that Providence pulled off a win over North Carolina on national television with Al McGuire there. So it'll be an interesting, good trip at a tough schedule for Iona. Kevin Hamilton, thank you so much. Class of 80 from the great Jim Valvano team at Iona. Thanks for a few minutes this morning.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.
Okay, and this is Ken Kraetzer for Cam Vets Media. Thanks for watching, and we'll be covering the game from Kean University tonight. Have a great day.